What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Sorry I had to take 2 months off to grow a beard. Just kidding. I had some work stuff, some life stuff, an injury, and I had to prioritize boating over making videos, so I'm sorry about that, but I'm back. And the video today is going to focus on surfing. I've been doing a lot of this in the late summer, early fall, and what I've got today is just the surfing that I've been doing over the past couple weeks, which spans like middle 2 feet level for the Potomac all the way up to 6 feet. So I'm going to show you everything you can surf at those levels. Well, at least the stuff that I got on, and I'm going to put extra details in the video description here so you can find all the waves and get on them. Focuses on a Playboat because I've been really enjoying that lately. So let's dig into a few surf spots on the Potomac. I'm not going to be able to cover every surf wave in a short video here, but these are some little surf waves you can get at O-Deck at this level. It's like 2.72. We're going to do the hike up to Horseshoe, and that'll be our first wave of the video. I have a lot of video content on this, and you can check the description, but Horseshoe's easy to get to by car. You just park at the Great Falls, Virginia Climbers Lot at the park there. And then the hard part starts because you have to walk down to Fisherman's Eddy and then ferry across and then walk up and over to the wave. Like I said, I have a video about that. This is the low water wave. It's powerful. It's bouncy. It's a rodeo wave, and it changes a lot. At lower, like 2.5, it's like a big wide scoop that you can just sort of surf, carve back and forth on. And by the time it hits like 2.8, that thing is huge, bouncy with a disappearing foam pile. It's hard to stay on. I think Playboats have the most fun on this wave, but you can definitely get it in a half slice or a full slice. So check this one out. One thing to note, if you screw up and swim, you're going to swim O-Deck probably, which is a tricky rapid. And I actually roll up late here and wash down, so check it out after the wave footage. Okay, so my observations as a kind of bad surfer on these waves is basically that if you're entering from surfer's left, i.e. river right, you have to be comfortable putting your feet and the tip of your boat through this big spraying kind of boil thing. And it's just fine, you know, as long as you don't lean into it and let it get your bow or let it turn you too much, you'll be all right. And then you just get ready with a righty stroke or to angle your body to the left, and it'll keep you in the wave. Now, if you get over too far surfer's right, that's where it's kind of flushy and the shoulder is lower. So if you don't carve back to surfer's left, then you'll have trouble staying on the wave. Lean forward. It's easy to wash back up and over that foam pile, and try not to lose your bow. So carving back and forth helps. I could have made this eddy if I just had tried harder, but I end up washing down, and so I'm just looking for the lines, the green water in between rocks. I go into a hole, but you can see that since, look, this is a Playboat, the CFS isn't that crazy. It's pretty easy to stay upright. I will say, as the level comes up, this rapid gets bigger. Not to say, you know, scarier necessarily, but personally, it's not a place I want to flip because there's definitely a few rocks here and there. What can I even say about Maryland Chute? This is where a lot of people learn how to ferry, where you learn how to surf, all of that good stuff. Basically, you go to Old Anglers Inn River access on the Potomac, and you paddle upstream, which is right from the beach, and come around a corner, and there you'll see Maryland Chute up ahead of you. And if you want to attain, you go to the other side of the river and a little higher, Virginia Chute, and there's some surfs there. This is Maryland Chute. It starts running at about 2.8, where it is honestly like pretty trashy. There's a big rock on the left, and you're kind of like vertical in this little pour over. It's kind of surfing, but honestly, I think it really becomes more surfable at 3 all the way up to 4. Now, in the lower 3s, what you see is basically a jumbly little pour over on surfer's left, and then a big green tongue on surfer's right. And the joy of surfing this wave is basically bouncing between the kind of stickier pour over. It'll totally let you go if you just lean the other way, and bouncing off of the green tongue, which extends kind of past the wave hole that you're surfing. So you'll see carving back and forth here, and you'll see at a higher level how the whole thing kind of flattens out even more. This is a great place to learn flat spins, to screw around with paddle tosses and stuff like that. There's eddy service on either side, and it's a very forgiving environment. So this is awesome, and you'll always run into good playboaters if you're out here at a good level. One way to make surfing more interesting is just to try different ways to get on the wave. You can maybe do a little peel out, try and get on the wave higher, trying to approach it from lower or the other side of the river. As long as you're keeping yourself iterating on different versions of what this surf could look like, you're definitely learning something. This is the corner that you turn when you're paddling to Maryland Chute from the beach at Anglers Inn River Access. This is a great place to practice your stern squirts. All right, still at Maryland Chute, but now on a different day. The river's risen to 3.74 from 3.34, which was the last picture of this wave. So let's get some contrast. Let's see how it changes. .34. And 3.74. One thing to know about the higher levels for this wave is just that the eddy lines and converging flows around it get a little trickier. So if you're a newer boater and you're coming up to check it out, just remember to mind your P's and Q's and watch what your angle should be, or else you might get kind of screwed up near the wave because there's 3 or 4 eddy lines around there. By the way, that guy who just did that cool trick, he's got a YouTube channel called Paddle, Bike, Dive, Climb, and he is a great kayaker. He's got everything from little falls, great falls, everything you could imagine on there, like almost weekly videos. He's just a machine. So he actually inspired me to start this channel, and go check him out. Definitely, if you're lacking Potomac beater videos, go check out Paddle, Bike, Dive, Climb videos. Okay, and that other guy who was throwing ends in the XXX, I think his name's Brian. You'll see him around at the surf waves occasionally. Absolute killer of a kayaker. He does some crazy tricks later in the video. Focus back on myself for a moment. This is, I think, one of the longest surfs I've ever gotten, just to show you how lovely this wave is in a playboat. They're all hanging out in the eddy. I think they're swapping boats or something, so you'll see me looking over occasionally to make sure I'm not being a total wave hog here, but literally, I think I could have eaten a sandwich sitting on this wave. All right, next we're going to hop over to Virginia Chute. But before we do, let me just say what I think changes about this wave that makes it so good between 3.34 and 3.74, which is the pour over on surfers left is now totally underwater. You can't really see that rock or nothing anymore. And what that does is it unlocks another like 2-3 feet of wave to carve back and forth on. It's also a little more washed out on the right, which means that you've got a lot of carving opportunity. If you start to feel yourself losing the wave or something, easy to get back across. Now, let's watch some real playboaters do some real tricks. That stern squirt eddy is still great at 3.74. So Virginia Chute is just on the other side of the river upstream from Maryland. So all you have to do is go downstream from the wave, hook around the island, which when you're facing downstream is going to be a right-hand turn all the way till you're facing upstream again. And then you're going to cross to the Virginia side of the river. Downstream, that's river right. Looking upstream for the attainment, it's river left. And as long as you cross the river and go all the way up till you can't anymore because of this chute, that is where you're going to find these waves. I'm going to put the relevant mapping details in the video description, so don't worry too much about finding this wave. But basically, I think Virginia Chute is overlooked a lot compared to Maryland because at lower levels, it's probably better for longer boats, slicey boats, than it is for play boats. But as the level comes up, I could definitely stay on both the top and the second wave without much trouble. It's not really like sitting in a wave hole, though, with a nice big foam pile before you or behind you. It's more like leaning forward and just trying to make sure that you're not sliding backwards off the wave. That said, it's fun and different in its own way, and definitely worth checking out in a playboat. Getting on and staying on the second tighter wave is a fun exercise in boat control, trying to see what you can get away with there. All right, we're talking Offutt. Offutt Island is just below anglers, so you're driving to the same place you would to hit Maryland or Virginia Chute, except you're going downstream. You are staying left, and this surf wave is between Offutt Island and the shore of Maryland. Now, it comes in, I think, the mid-4s, and it's runnable up to like 5.2-ish. The extremes on either side aren't super great, but the higher side, I think, is better than the lower side. The other thing I'll say about this is that at these levels, it usually means there's been some rain, and if the river has come up quickly, then there's a big chance of debris, wood, a big log floats right through this surf wave, which would have been hard to see without friends in the eddy looking upstream. So be aware of all that stuff. And after this, it's center wave. So this is a nice, well-defined wave, and at this higher level for the wave, there's two things about it. One is that it's kind of steep, so it's easy to lose your bow. So you want to be carving back and forth. If you're not paying attention, you're leaning too far forward at the bottom of the wave, you could do a little front flip by accident. The other thing about it is that the coolest thing with this wave is that at mid-levels, like 4.8, there are 2, even 3 extremely surfable waves below it, so that you can get combos where you surf the top wave, the second wave, the third wave, and even like transition tricks between them, which is really, really cool. At this level, it's just a little too high for that, but at the same time, it's a super glassy, chill wave, so you're not going to bonk yourself on anything if you flip over, aside from wood. Great times. This is just me playing around. It looks like I can maybe surf this top wave and try and get into the main wave. I also try and squirt into the wave later. It doesn't work, but that just shows you this is a place for playing around and dialing in your skills. It's really good. Now the mistake here is either going to be to lose your bow or to wash off to the right. Here's what it looks like to lose your bow. That didn't work, and neither does this. I'm trying to make sure I get footage of other people surfing these waves so you can get a sense of the anatomy, what it looks like, depth. This guy is doing it in a remix, or RPM. I'm amazed. It's a long boat for this kind of thing, but he's got it dialed. After him, we've got Roy showing you what it looks like with a Playboat and a stylish little twirl there at the end. And then we're off to center wave at 6.03 feet.
Camera, big dog!
I shouldn't really be paddling through the trees, but the water's very calm there, and I've got friends near me. Basically, we're just hugging the shore, heading up from Anglers back, just like we went to Maryland Chute, with one slight difference. When we start to get to the top where Maryland Chute is, the flow becomes too powerful to attain over to where we want to be for center wave. So we basically just attain out behind this island, walk over the island, put in, and then it's almost like a slack water eddy, just paddling up to where center wave is, which is in between Maryland and Virginia Chutes. So it takes a little work. Believe me, it's worth it.
Oh, here it is. 1976, Meg.
So here I am at the island. I'm going to put in on the other side and then paddle over to the eddy service for the center wave. Center wave comes in right about 5.5 feet, but it's trashy, it's shallow, it's very hold on to you at lower levels, and at 6 it's beautiful. I think at like 5.8 might be the perfect level for a playboat because it holds on to you even more without being too grabby, and you can do lots of tricks and stuff on it, which is sweet. It is also kind of big, kind of intimidating, and if you happen to have a swim, it can be a lot to recover and then still get back to the wave because just there's a lot of distance, the water's moving a little faster, and usually it's cold when this comes in too, so dry suits are in play and whatnot. But I promise you it's not as bad as it seems. Go with somebody who knows what they're doing and you will be whooping with joy on that wave in no time. An added bonus is that there's a fun little crag like on the island overlooking the wave, which is great for filming your friends or getting a sweet picture if you want one. You already know that's of interest to me. Anyway, let's check it out. Okay, simple formula to make sure that you get on this wave in a playboat. You can see that there's a nice standing wave at the top. I'm going to get on it almost like I'm surfing it, but I'm just going to typewriter across. And then when I'm across, I'm going to keep paddling with my right knee up so that I can make my way across the river and land in the middle of that wave. I'm also not going to stop paddling upstream to reduce my speed and increase the chances that I get caught on the wave like I want to. If at any point I want to exit, I'm just going to do a big lean on my left or my right, and it's going to let me go no problem. If I'm clever and I can get off the wave early and intentionally, I can stay in that eddy rather than having to go back behind the rock, but in either case, it's not a hard paddle. It's a lot of water moving quickly. You have to be ready for these eddy lines. That's one thing to call out.
Go, dude. You'll be happy with that.
So I think I've demonstrated that there is no shortage of surf waves on the Potomac between something like 2.5 and 6 feet. There's always something to do. From 2.5 to about 2.8, you go to Horseshoe. 2.8 all the way up to 4, you can go to the Chutes, Maryland, Virginia. Above 4, about 4 to 4.5, there isn't that much to do, but you go to Offutt at 4.5, and that has you all the way to 6. So leave in the comments if you know somewhere good to surf between 4 and 4.5. Just kidding. Do you think I forgot about Rocky? No, I didn't forget about Rocky. From 3.8 to 4-ish, 4s, you can bring a 9-foot boat, half slice, that kind of thing, out to Rocky Waves, which is on Mather Gorge, just under S turn. But I just didn't do that this time because I didn't get a chance to get out when it was that level. But be advised, there's always something. And if you're not surfing and you're into kayaking and you've got some downriver skills, what are you doing? Surfing is one of the best ways to get better at kayaking. It's super fun, and you might even meet a paddleboarding friend, and you can try that out. We see them out surfing these all the time. Anyway, thanks for watching. More to come. Hope to see you on the river.
Bye.